9 a.m. Wednesday morning. I mean, I can't do it.
That did sound like
A
it.
little bit, yeah. Good morning, everyone. Mark and Sharon.
Hello.
No
Players
breakfast.
456 and 001.
Oh,
for
sorry. Yes. Players 456 and 0. Who's 456 and who's 001? You can be one.
Oh, because I'm older.
You can be the.
I'm the old man.
Before we get into this, so this is a podcast about Squid Game. There's going to be spoilers, so turn it off now if you haven't seen it, or if you're halfway through, or if you're thinking about watching it. They are going to be spoilers. There are going to be spoilers. I will say again, they are going to be spoilers.
Is there going to be spoilers?
Yeah. More for you if you now watch it. You can't kick off. You're not allowed to write anything negative in the comments, but if you do, there are spoilers. So Squid Game, the mega smash it on Netflix. I'm not an expert on the program. Sharon, I know you've got notes, but I wouldn't say that we're experts. But so we're not going to go into the details of the nuances of the actual creative director and all the issues that he had to get it off the ground. We're just going to talk about it from two novice fan points of view. Now, I heard about Squid Game from from two avenues really. One was from John, my business partner and brother, because he started to watch it and he was telling me about it. And we're active on TikTok as MKL. We're under the pseudonym Manuka Tech. If you want to go check us out. I was seeing all these TikTok videos come up, doing that music, that and that young Korean girl. That I'm gonna apologies. By the way, I'm trying not to offend anyone here, but that young girl that goes "Nekoma nemanola." Sharon's face. Viewers, you can see that. Listeners, Sharon's face when I did that. You know what I was doing. It's when they're playing the red light, green light.
Okay. I thought you went for it. I don't think I've seen that one.
I saw that. I'm going to send it to you now. I'm going to find it. But yeah, that song. I won't do it again. But I saw a lot of TikToks about it, and then I saw a lot of TikToks about red light, green light, and I thought, isn't that game you play in school? What's all that about? And then my son, he watches a load of Roblox. I'm sorry, ancient. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Videos on YouTube, and they were playing red light, green light as well. So I put the first episode on, and it's dubbed. It's not subtitled. Thankfully, thank you Netflix for that.
Yeah.
I don't like to watch and read at the same time. I prefer to absorb my media through the eyes and ears, visual and hearing. But I don't like to read. Yeah, I don't like to do subtitles. Although I did watch Mel Gibson's Apocalypto. That was subtitles, and that was a fantastic film.
I quite like subtitles, actually.
Oh, you would, wouldn't you? Yeah. I like to read while I'm watching my movies.
I do. I don't want to miss anything. That's why.
Well, John's another one actually, because whenever I'm working away with John and he's on Netflix, he always has the subtitles on. Yeah. I said to him, "What have you got the subtitles on for?" And it's because he says at home, he's got a house of 3 boys and a wife, so there's always stuff going on. So he has the subtitles on, so he doesn't miss anything. But for us normal people, we don't. But subtitles are there for those that need them. Anyway, not here to discriminate. So I put the first episode on. And I'm not going to lie, it was probably quite hard for the first 40 minutes. It's a bit like, do you know what it reminded me of? Have you seen Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
It reminded me of Breaking Bad. So when, again, I didn't watch Breaking Bad when it was on.
Yeah.
So when all the episodes were being uploaded and everybody was raving about it, I did the same with Game of Thrones as well. So I'll wait because I'm a binger.
I think we're followers is what we're saying there.
No. No. My rationale is I did it with. I'm going to bounce around a little bit. So I did it with Breaking Bad. I did it with Game of Thrones, and I'm glad I did it with Game of Thrones because I think I didn't start getting into Game of Thrones until season 4 or 5. Which then, when I got into it, I was at a buffet. I was at a cornucopia of episodes, and everybody knows here. forgot what I was saying. Game of Thrones.
Were you going to say something about not being patient or something about the number of episodes and have
your,
to wait?
Your media didn't cut out then. It's because, and I know exactly how that happened then.
Mark on a sip. That's what happened.
Yeah. Sip means shit his pants, by the way. It's a technology term. What happened? It tells you how. I'm going to give you an insight into a male brain here. So as I was going to say, everybody knows what the early episodes of Game of Thrones were like.
Oh.
So I'm not going to go into detail because there might be little ears listening, but my brain got there before my mouth did. So I'm thinking, my brain's gone to the point where I'm thinking about what the early episodes of Game of Thrones were like.
Naughty thoughts. And
it stopped me in my tracks, and I went off. Then I was in a different atmosphere. I was gone. I was in a Game of Thrones zone somewhere. I don't know where.
Only apologise. We've only just built this, and it's full of fumes.
Yeah.
Let's...
I was in Littlefinger's establishment, so who knows? But yeah, so I was happy to do that because I could then gorge on 5 seasons worth of episodes. And then just to go back to that point around Breaking Bad, when I first watched Breaking Bad, the first episode was like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
They've got to do that backstory filler, the characters, and I get that, but Netflix, please cut out that 45-minute backstory and just give me a little bit, but then get into the action. But when I first saw the episode of Red Light, Green Light, I was hooked then. What did you think when you first saw it?
Yeah, well, I think because you told me a fair bit about it because I said I wasn't going to watch it. So I was intrigued by what you told me of the whole of the series. But yeah, I don't think I struggled with the 40 minutes because you said to me, just go through that. And then yeah, I found the whole thing absolutely fascinating, I have to say, from a psychological point of view.
Well, there was, I mean, if you were to say, again, spoilers, so I'm just saying, and we're going to bounce around a little bit here.
Yeah.
So out of the game, let's just recap the games they played. So they played Red Light, Green Light.
Yeah. Cookie one.
Then they played that horrendous cookie one, and we'll get into the detail of that one, where he got, my opinion, he got screwed over with the umbrella. Then they did Tug of War.
Yeah.
Then they did the glass one.
That was last.
Oh, was it?
That was 5.
No, they did the marbles.
Oh, that's right.
They played the marbles one, and then they did the glass one, and then they had their dinner, didn't they?
Well, they got given the knife, which was
and then they played Squid Game.
Yeah.
In terms of their last one. But let's say, Sharon, someone comes to you and goes, not offer you money because you'll just say no, but just says life or death. You've got to pick one of those games to play, and if you get to the end of it, you keep your life. More importantly, and then also I'll give you £1 million as a little kicker to say thank you. Which game would you play?
Oh. I think I'd probably do the glass one, but I'd be like right at the back.
Oh,
like last but one. And I would do, like, having watched it, we've seen the strategy and everything. So I'd like proper hone up. What's the word?
Boned up.
Bone up.
Right, there's a lot of fumes in here, viewers and listeners. If the audio is a little bit off.
on like tempered glass versus normal glass.
No, you can't do that. They're not. No.
No, because you said knowing what you know.
Well, yeah, but all right, fair enough. But you can't then go and do a tempered glass course.
I would.
I'd
do my homework.
Open University.
My life would depend on it.
Well, yeah, I know, but that guy that got them
fat.
Yeah, but he had 20 years experience, and he could do it with the sound of a marble striking the glass.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
For me, I'd.
Which one would you do then?
Red light, green light.
Would you?
Yeah.
Stay at the back.
I don't necessarily stay at the back. I think I could, because as that old boy, I mean, he's obviously played the games.
Yeah.
Again, spoilers. So he's played the game, so you can see there's a rhythm to when the doll sings the song.
Yeah.
Turns round.
Yeah.
Turns round, then turns back the other way. It doesn't seem that would be a very hard game to play if it was random. So if it was like turned around, she's facing the tree, 2 seconds, whips its head back around, turns around, faces the tree, 4 seconds, whips its head back, and then it randomly does. But there's a rhythm to it.
It felt so risky, that one. It literally felt, I mean, watching it, it felt like she just turned around and shot whoever she wanted.
But it was the AI, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that makes me laugh, actually, because, you know, little eyes darting about.
Yeah.
All I could think about, well, with letting rip in a lift. So do you know when you trump in a lift? You know
You're
what?
like, please, Jazz, not me.
You know what that's like, Shannon, when you trump in a lift?
No.
You're saying, yeah, you just know.
I'm
Right.
saying no, because ladies do not let rip in a lift.
Listeners, you wouldn't have seen that, obviously, but viewers, you rewind that back and watch it go, I said, do you know what that's like, Shannon? She go, yes.
I know what you meant.
Yeah, so watch it back when you see her little eyes going all over the place on the robot. That's all I could think about was letting rip in a lift, and you're looking around going, I don't know, no, this is me. But I don't know if again, we can talk with hindsight because we've seen it. So if you're going to do the glass game, you know that you're going into a terrible game. They've gone in to play that Squid Game. The first red light, green light is their first interaction of the horror. So that would probably, you'd probably be the hardest game to play that if it's your first one.
Well, you lost 50% of people or more, didn't you,
in
that one?
Well, they turned around and just panicked, as people would.
Well, yeah, because she just,
Well, who would necessarily? I mean, people watching this and listening to me going, well, I would have worked out, but I don't think you would have done in that situation. You don't know that game exists. You don't know what's going to happen. You've been told a nice little story about how you're going to win a load of money, and you're sizing everybody up. So you think it's going to be, and you're all gamblers or in debt or in some way. So you've sort of got alliances in terms of your addictions and problems, but you wouldn't necessarily clock that robot turning around on the other side of the field had the eyes that was scanning you for movement, and then it was automated guns in the top to do that.
Well, that's the thing, because it felt like about halfway through the game that someone said, I think she's watching us and she's doing it. So it took some people definitely a while to clock that.
And by that time, you've moved.
Yeah. And at the first shot, you're going to be so much panic.
Well, you'd be like, what was that?
You're not thinking logic of, how do I survive this?
Well, you think it was a joke. You think it was a joke.
Yeah.
Well, they did, didn't they?
Yeah, because he went, come on, get up now.
Yeah, get up, stop messing about. And then when you see the blood, then he gets shocked, so he runs away, and then the blood goes on that woman's face. She screams, everyone panics.
And then how are you going to keep still with everyone's running around you?
It was, I think, the hardest game to play in terms of psychological, not so much the physical side of it, would probably be the marbles. That would be tough.
Yeah.
That would be a tough game. Now, I'm just warning everybody watching, listening this, if we don't know each other and we're playing that marble game, I'm doing everything I can to get out of there. So I'm going to be that dude who gives you the stones around your collar, and then you're going to run off. And Sharon, unfortunately, would be that person.
You're the person with the stones going, yeah, we can work together. There's a way out. Half full person I am. I'm going, yeah, we'll work together.
Anybody watching or listening this,
you want me as the partner?
Yeah, you want Sharon as that partner. All you need to do is just say, let's do this together. We'll be a team. We'll get through this. And she'll go, oh, yeah. Dead.
Yeah, I'm way too trusting.
Whereas on the flip side of that, I think if it was with someone that I knew, then I think there's one or two things I'd do. If it was, let's say it was you, for example, you're a mother of two children.
Yeah.
I would say a mother shouldn't grow up without their child. I'll sacrifice myself in that way because I'd like to think in my son's eyes that would be a heroic thing to do. And plus, I'd probably get some post hummus. Hummus is like a thing you eat.
It's the right word.
Is it?
Or something like that. Is that
why
right?
am I thinking
I have to spell it. I don't know how to say it.
Why am I thinking of like some bread to dip into that? I could do that now. Post garlic bread. I'd get some nice awards. Yeah, awards. Well done, Mark, for being dead. Or the other thing would be I'd just do what they did. The throw it as close as you can to the wall and see what would happen.
Yeah, it was that moment of the two kind of bad guys where one got so close and then he knocked the other guy's marble in.
Oh, and with a tattoo on his face of the snake, he was a right scumbag, wasn't he?
Yeah, but his partner wasn't much better, was he?
Well, it was his little lackey, wasn't he? Until he realised what was going on.
And he's like, no, just because I call you boss doesn't mean you're getting anything.
Yeah. I mean, now it would happen, wouldn't it? You'd get that tribal nature. People would form their tribes and then go off in their own little factions and then attack each other at the night, wouldn't they? You could just see that happening. I mean, you could see that happening on a daily occurrence. You know, everybody's in their tribes. You're either a Leave or a Mainer, you have a vaccine or not vaccine, or you're left or you're right, or you're blue or you're red, or whatever it might be. There's always little tribes. So you could definitely see in a high stress environment. I mean, I won't want to be one of those VIPs because horrible creatures. Although I did find it quite fascinating how they had living statues. Did you notice that?
Yeah, because the cop walked in and went, didn't he? Just for a second.
Well, you had footstools or just people just.
Oh yeah. So what you mean? Yeah.
And then he had his head back in the lady, and she was just like in a very. I mean, her core strength.
Yeah.
Must have been phenomenal.
Because she's completely naked, just in paint, isn't she? Just colour painted.
Excellent. Who? Right. What were we saying about VIPs here?
Yeah.
But they were very seedy people. But you could imagine, can't you? In some weird. I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I could easily see highly connected, extremely wealthy individuals doing something like that.
Well, yeah, because he was saying, look, we all bet on horses. We just bet on humans. What's the difference? You all signed up to it. You agreed to it.
Well, that's the other thing, isn't it? Because we were having this conversation the other day, wasn't we? Because they played red light, green light. They all then went back to their room. Then they had the vote, a very democratic vote.
Yeah.
And decided to leave. But what was their return rate?
93%.
93% return. So you got to argue that when they're going through and they're kicking off at their captors, and for listeners, I'm doing that in inverted commas, captors, they knew what they were. They've just literally seen a load of people get massacred on a football field playing red light, green light. So what do they think they're going to come back into now? The other side of the coin is those people that then decided to leave, they all got a little taste, didn't they, what normal life was like. Were the partakers of the game who were creating it, making their lives just a little bit crapper, just so they'll go.
Watching them, weren't they?
Well, we know that, don't we, at the end?
Yeah, because when he went to get on the plane, he was like, you just get on the plane. So he knew he was being watched. I was thinking about why they all returned. And I'm thinking they're all obsessive characters. They're high into risk. They be getting their dopamine from gambling. None of them have got any money, so they can't gamble anymore. And gambling, that red light, green light, and that risk is the ultimate gamble. You're gambling with your life. Plus the noise of the piggy bank.
The ding, 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 ding,
all of that
ding,
stuff was set up perfectly for those people.
Yeah.
So it was such a. They're being drawn to that. I was not surprised 93%. When I thought about it, I thought actually that dopamine hit and the fact that all of them are obsessive about that and they've had that hit and then left that world, they must have been like, I need my next fix.
Well, I've never used Google currency converter as much in my life. So when they're going, it's 45 billion won. I'm going, what's that?
Yeah.
And then he's pulling out 10,000 won from his bank account. And I'm going, how much is that? It's like £6.
Yeah.
It's like, right, okay. See, what? I mean, it's just fascinating, isn't it? I was going, all right, okay. So he's going to be a billionaire in his currency, yeah, but you convert that to sterling. I think it was like 28 million quid. I mean, it's still a lot of money. It's still a hell of a lot of money.
As it feels, especially. You see it all drop in the piggy bank. It's all lit up, and you hear all the music.
Well, there's so many little Easter eggs throughout that I'm only learning now. And again, spoilers. So the old boy at the end, player 001. I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see it coming. I really didn't. I mean, even the fact that when they had to vote, he voted to send them home.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he did, didn't he?
He's the host, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's one of the founders. You'd think he'd want to keep them in.
But maybe that's a part of the psychology side of it. Well,
it's the ultimate test, isn't it? I'm going to send everyone home because he had the power. I was convinced he was going to press green.
Well, yeah, because you don't know that at that stage of the program.
I thought he's a bit not there in the head.
Well, I when he starts bombing along on red light, green light, I thought, well, he's old, he's end of life. He's just going, screw it. I'm just gonna have a good time here. I'm not bothered.
Yeah, he played all the way through. That character played a really good character, didn't he? In terms of, he had that innocent face, slightly wild, happy smile the whole way through while everyone else is frightened, and he's like wandering around like he's in his element. And then even towards the end, he's still like looking really sad in the corner when they had to pair up.
Full on psychopath.
Yeah, but then and he was going, oh yeah, you would they're playing the marbles. He was going, you played me because I knew what was going on. Really.
See, that was the fascinating one, wasn't it? So when they were playing the marbles and he was making like he had on stage dementia, and he knew he was making himself vulnerable.
Yeah, because
to see if he would take advantage of him.
What did I say? Did I say even or odd? And he knew he'd said odd, but the other guy said even, and he just went, oh right, okay. But then at the end he went, you played me.
Well, he's a financial whiz, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he knows what he's doing with numbers, and then when again spoilers. So he's got his money as 456.
Yeah.
He's come out. He's not spending any of it.
No.
Which
it's blood money, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't know. See, I was frustrated at that because he's a very empathetic person, isn't he? I mean, you're an empathetic person, but he's like next level empathetic person. But he could have took that money and done something good.
Yeah.
So they by the looks of it, there was a load of homeless people. There's a load of people poor. There's a load of people struggling. You know, he could have done an NGO. He could have done anything with that money. He didn't. The worst thing he did was sit on it and do nothing with the money. That was a frustrating thing for me. Going, if you don't want it, give it away then.
Well, I think he went into a huge amount of depression. I think he got stuck in a rut and couldn't do anything. And it wasn't until he went and got his hair cut, and went, oh, okay.
What's with red hair, by the way?
I googled that because I wanted to know, and that's about him showing his anger. Real anger and misjustice. And that's why at the end, when he's on the phone call, he can't let it go. He has to ring him back and say, I'm coming for you.
Yeah. Is that a Korean culture?
What, the red hair?
Yeah.
I don't know. But that was it, though. It also said about him really showing that he'd changed. He wasn't that quiet, subdued. Some things are going to happen to me. I'm taking control and there's a change in me now. I'm coming for you.
Do you think he went a bit down? He fell a little bit mentally because of how which I thought they were brothers, by the way, until you corrected me. So the two guys at the end that fought in the field,
the childhood friends.
Yeah. The sheer size of the betrayal to him that they grew up together and seeing how vicious he could be.
Well, he saw a whole new side of someone else that he really trusted. Someone who was bigging up the whole way, wasn't he? He was going, oh, this is
you went to university,
guy.
You went to here, you did this.
He thought he had his back, didn't he? The whole way through. He was going to pair up with him.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. Then he got out and his mum had died as well. He didn't have his daughter because she was in the US. He came out and went, I've lost all these people. I've lost everybody. I've got nothing. I'm just living at home. I think he just hit rock bottom and went, all that death, everything that was on me, I can't do anything. I think he was just in a place of just complete, I can't do a thing.
But you made the point, didn't you, the other day around, he clocked how sort of off his friend was when they were playing that biscuit game.
Yeah, it was hesitant, wasn't he? He was going to call him back and say, don't go for the umbrella.
And
he didn't. He stopped himself and he clocked that and went,
that because he really screwed him over there.
He did, yeah, because he knew what that game was.
Yeah, he could have had the square, could have had the diamond, could have had the circle, but he gave him the umbrella. I mean, fair enough. I mean, he's a genius for thinking of the licking thing.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's a delicacy though, isn't it, in their country? So
honeycomb.
That'd be like doing it with fish and chips here. Get scraps on your fish and chips. Hey, where are my scraps, love? You could just imagine that in our culture what that would be. But he clocked him, didn't he? And then I think when he pushed that guy on the bridge, on the glass bridge.
Yeah, because you can't explain that away. That
was it. But then put yourself in that situation. I mean, it's all right having a very strong moral compass, but you've literally seen quite a few people fall to their death in a horrendous way on that bridge.
Yeah.
What do you do in that situation? Are you extremely noble, like, ye old times, and go, I'm going to die well? But who's going to see that and who's going to know? Nobody. Or am I going to do whatever I can to survive?
Well, in pushing that person off the bridge, he did allow all of them to get over. Because when they down to the last second.
Oh, yes, of course. Because 456 he was at the back, wasn't he?
Yeah. And was it last second?
But his rationale was if I hadn't have done that,
we would all die.
And it all blew up, didn't it?
Yeah.
And it all. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, this is the thing, isn't it? Because I don't think you can be on either side.
That's quite grey, isn't it? That one.
It's very skillfully wrote, is that, because I don't think you'd have put, personally, if we was in that situation. Oh, here's another situation for you then. So you're on that bridge.
Yeah.
You've got your child behind you.
Yeah.
And someone in front of you who you don't know, but it seems a nice person, and the clock's ticking down.
Slow.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Right, I'm going to answer that for you because you're a mother. You're going to push that person.
I probably would.
That person's going over.
Yeah,
100%.
Probably because it's my child.
Well, exactly. But all right, and so what if it wasn't your child? What if it was just two people you knew? But then you're going to die at the same time.
I think I'd have been more about, come on, dude, come on, let's move the happiness up now.
Nah. He'd have been getting ragged and launched. 100%. He would have been getting pushed.
I'd have been very aware of that timer the entire way. I think I'd have been the annoying one at the back going, come on, hurry up.
I'd have been,
so my patience would be too low for that.
It would have been, I think out of all the games, that would have been the worst. I mean, I'm not too bothered about heights, but that for me would have been mega anxiety. Now, so let's talk about the, go on.
Oh, just as I was going to say, the tug of war one, it was interesting because 001, the old boy, he gave him the strategy to get through that, didn't he?
And this is the thing, though, isn't it? So now you get to the end of the series, you understand.
Well, he had to do that because otherwise he'd have died.
Exactly. Whereas you go, at the time when you're watching it, you're going, he's just one of these old mystics that come out of nowhere. You know, everybody's probably got them in their organization. Someone who's been there for 20, 30 years will just come out and go, send your email or invoices too. And it's all sorted. I don't know why they talk like that. They're not a witch. But who knows? But the Easter egg to that, if you go and watch it back, he's not shackled to the rope.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I didn't clock that at all.
Well, I didn't at the time until someone told me. I went back and looked, and he's not shackled to the ropes. Obviously, if they'd gone over.
Yeah.
But then my argument is, if they'd have gone over, he's not shackled to it. Everybody there would have seen. Why hadn't you gone over with him?
They could have just gone, oh.
Oh, it broke.
Yeah.
There must have been some story that they must have to tell to take it away. But
it's still a huge risk, though, isn't it? Really, being I suppose he's not shackled. He's all right.
But that was his point, though, wasn't it? So he's on his deathbed. He's got a tumor. Risk is subjective, isn't it? So and like fear, and well, not danger. Danger is very real, but fear and risk is subjective. Mm-hmm. So he could have faked that, but to him, he wanted to feel alive.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, it's interesting because he's a very wealthy individual. Obviously, his VIPs are very wealthy individuals. And I was thinking about this in the context of the likes of a Mark Zuckerberg or an Elon Musk or a Jeff Bezos. I don't call him Bezos, Mr. Jeffrey. So they've got an obscene amount of wealth, and they can arguably do, within reason, anything they can. So
help people.
Well, no, I'm not suggesting that they go kill people, but I think this is the rationale for them going to space. So you got Jeff Bezos going up to space, and you've got Prince William kicking off saying billionaires should be spending their money on this, and this.
On the earth.
Maybe it's because, well, one, he can, and two, he's got loads of people who will happily pay for that trip. But also, he needs to feel alive as well. I mean, he is a human being, arguably. He's not a lizard person, but that's maybe a different podcast. But he's a very wealthy person. So that the old boy in Squid Game, it needed to be a very real risk. So to be in there with them, he could have got stabbed in the night when they were all rioting.
Yeah, because he got up the top, climbed up the top, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, he wet himself and all sorts. I wonder if that was real.
Well, apparently, again, I was told that he faked that to make it look like he was going a little bit senile because he knew he was going into the marble game.
But it makes him so vulnerable, doesn't it?
So no one was going to pick him.
Yeah.
So he wanted to see who would pick him. So he's playing his games there. 4, 5, 6 picks him. So arguably, the best pick he could have done 4, 5, 6 was pick 001.
Yeah.
Because he's always going to win. Because that's when 001 was exiting the game, because he couldn't have played the bridge game. How could he have played that?
Yeah.
There's no way around that, is there?
No,
you can't. He couldn't have gone to pick one of those bibs early, because what if someone would have gone to pick it before him? So that was naturally where he was going to exit.
Yeah, it was that bib game was interesting, wasn't it? Because that poor guy who stepped forward and went, "I've never been a leader in my life, and now it's time for me to take control." And then that realization that he's got to walk over the glass first. It was literally like and I'm dead.
Yeah, by far the worst game. By far for me the worst game. Tug of War. I like that because to tug of war, I've got a chance.
I wouldn't have much chance, though. See.
We not, yeah, but you'd be in a team, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So
But if I'd have been on the weak team.
yeah, but well, you say that, but don't forget that team that the old boy was in, they were physically weaker, but they had the better strategy.
That was fantastic. Watching them all lean back like that, and
Yeah.
that last minute of okay, all go forward to make them fall over, and
Yeah.
then quickly pull back.
Well, that was his friend, wasn't it? That childhood friend that had that idea.
Yeah.
Give
And
him a
that's
little
the
bit of
thing.
slack.
Yeah.
Well, you know what it's like. You know when your dog, you're holding a thing, and your dog's pulling on it, and you let go, and the dog goes. Ugh! It's exactly like that, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it was good seeing all the strategy, all the psychological side of things. The bit that bugged me for quite some time was those coffins with the bows on.
Oh yeah, you did some research on that, didn't you? What was that for?
Yeah, so I read about that, and it said that because it was all about fairness, wasn't it? The founder was all about fairness, everyone having a fair chance.
Everybody's equal in here.
Yeah. And someone was saying that is like a godlike concept that they've got, the founder, and that's why it was all like childhood games. It's all that godchild sort of thing, and then putting a coffin with a bow on was in fitting with the rest of it. You know, when they walk through and it's all the stairs and the passage and all the rooms, it's the same sort of a kind of feel to it. But the coffin with the bows on was about a present back to them, kind of like, it's the last thing I can do for you as I send you off on your afterlife.
Oh.
But yeah, God concept again about, I could put a bow in your coffin.
Well, it's fascinating, isn't it? Because again, the Easter eggs that are in it are just are great when you go back and you read it. So I read one that said, when they're playing the game in the train station.
Yeah.
And he comes to him with that beautiful case, and he opens the case, and he goes, I can't remember what the game was called. It's like a flip game.
Yeah.
It's to throw your card, and you have to turn it over.
Yeah.
And there was a red and a blue.
Yeah.
Now, and he gives him the choice. Do you want to be blue? Do you want to be red? And he picked blue. Now, apparently, the theory is if he picked blue, because he did pick blue, he was a player. If you'd have picked red, you're one of those guys with the masks on. But then my argument to that is, what's the incentive? Well, what is there to that? Is it to feel part of something? Is it,
well, you're all homeless, aren't you? So
they're not winning anything.
No, but you're being given a job and you've got a roof over your head.
I mean, there's a job and there's a job in there. But they're so indoctored into the cult, because they go, the rules. Yeah, you don't talk. Yeah. I'm a square, you're a circle, I'm a triangle. And I wonder if that's why they were harvesting body parts for cash.
Because they needed more.
Well, there was a couple of things that you said that I didn't really pick up on. One, that story, the doctor didn't really go anywhere.
He didn't, because he appeared out of nowhere and then they killed him off.
The guy that was cutting people up, in terms of the players that died and then they were selling the organs. Yeah. He sort of like appeared, didn't he? And then went away. And then you made that, I didn't notice this, and listeners and viewers, you know, talk about that Morse code thing.
Oh, yeah, because when the cop guy was, when he first landed in his room 29, he had his phone and he was taking notes under the covers, wasn't he? So he picked up on the camera. And he was writing some notes about, mass murder or whatever like this. And then he started writing dash, dash, dash. And he was listening because he kept hearing someone next door coughing. And it was more coughing. And he kept looking up and going, And then he heard cough, 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 space, cough, 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 or whatever. And he went, Morse code. And I remember watching that thinking, something's going to happen with that. And nothing did. And I wondered if it was that 28 and 29, because 28 and 29 are the two guys who were like the divers who were taking, they were that pair who were dealing with the harvested organs. So I think it was something to do with that. I think 28 was trying to call 29 in some way. But of course, 29 didn't know what he was calling him for.
And then we didn't find out until that copper, his brother, was the guy who was the one behind the cool mask, the front man, with the really cool mask.
Yeah.
But he shot him in the shoulder, didn't he? Did we see him die?
No, we just saw him drop off, didn't we? So I guess that he might come back in series 2.
Why is it in these programs are the terrible shots? So, I mean, arguably maybe he's shot to the side because he's his brother, but why don't you just plant one right in his chest? I mean, that's the series over, but why don't you just go, I've got a revolver, boom, right in the middle of the chest. It's game over, isn't it?
Well, I think it will be series 2 will come back with our 4, 5, 6 player going and finding and trying to get some sort of...
I've got a real problem with that. I have got a real problem with that because for me, that it was a fantastic series, and this is just my opinion. I think it blew it at the end. So I get why he didn't spend his money. I get him getting the young girl's child out and then giving him half of the money so she could look after him. I get all that. But his sole aim was to get to his daughter.
Yeah.
That was his big driver for this. You know, I'm going to get the money. I'm going to get to my daughter. I'm going to help my mum out. Now, I know his mum's dead, but he had his daughter left there. So he could have gone to LA. I mean, bearing in mind, he's giving away half his fortune. So he's still got about 14 million quid left. So he can live very well. But he gives up the chance of having that happy ever after with his daughter to turn around and fight. I mean, I know they'll go, oh, but, you know, one man facing the world. But come on. In reality, they're watching him there because they tell him to get on the plane. What if he turned around? They're going to kill him in the car park.
Yeah, but it is that thing. He's just gone in the station and he's seen someone else that could be going to their
of course, yes.
And it's affected him that much because you can see as he's walking to the plane across the bridge, he's hesitating. He keeps walking. I kept thinking he's hesitating. He's going to turn around, and then he stops and pulls out his phone. And all the way across the bridge, he must have been thinking, "No, I can't let him get away with this. This is bugging me. I've got to do something about it." I think that hate fire stuff came up.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I can't. My daughter's perfectly safe in LA. I don't need to go anywhere. She's fine. But there's all these other people that are going to their deaths. I can't let that happen."
See, let me tell you how that'll go in my world. For one, I won't be on the train. I'll be driving up in my Rolls Royce Phantom to the airport, and I'll be getting in the Phantom. Phantom. Right. So full fat Phantom. Getting into the Phantom, getting to the airport, and I won't be getting on a normal commercial flight. I won't even be going first. I'll be getting on my private jet to go to LA, and then I would go by my big McMansion in LA. I'd send my daughter to the very best private school, hope that she'd get into Harvard or Princeton or somewhere like that, and I would live happily ever after. That's exactly how that. I mean, it doesn't make good TV, but that's how it would end for me. I mean, I would have helped that kid out.
Yeah,
I'd have helped the kid out because she did save his life as well. So I would have helped the kid out, and I would have given away some money. I don't know if I'd give away half. I mean, 14 million quid for what? What's he done? He's done no.
What? No, because he put in there as well about the debts, didn't he?
Yeah, I know that. Because he's helping that guy out, isn't he? His friend.
Who'd had completely mortgaged his mum's shop.
Now, I get that for her. But let's not forget, he stabbed him in the stomach. Yeah. He stabbed him through the hand. Yes. And he would have 100% killed him playing that last game if he got the upper hand on him. But he didn't. Now, yes, some redemption. He stabbed himself in the neck. Yeah. Get that. But still, I am too much of a red-blue person. I would be going through all that logically going, nah. If I'd have slipped on a stone or if the fates would have been with you or me, I'd have a pink bow on me. That's where I'd be. And you'd be off spending your millions somewhere. So, nah, mate, I'll give you some money to sort your mum out, sort that little kid out. I'm off to LA. I have a great time. You won't? Would you? What would you do?
I think I would be like that guy. I reckon I'd be walking across the bridge, going.
You would not.
The sense of injustice, because I could feel that as he was going across. I thought, oh no, all those other people, especially, and the bit that stuck out to me was, you know, when he was in the archive room, the cop was in the archive room, because it was bugging me that they were doing this harvesting of organs, and I was thinking, why is this happening? It feels like it's a backdoor thing that maybe other people don't know, but do they know? And then when he went into the archives, it was all the way back to 2003, and they made a big thing of showing all the names, didn't they? And I thought, oh, it's because it's been going on so long. There's all those thousands of people have died. And I know he didn't know that because that wasn't him that did it, but we know that. And had I known that, I don't think I wouldn't have been able to just get on with my life and go off to my happy ever after. It would have bugged me too much. Those thousands
but you
of people.
would have been, yeah, I get that. But you would have been looking over your shoulder for the rest of your life if you didn't leave. Because I know that we say his daughter's safe in LA.
Yeah.
But a lot of those VIPs had American accents.
That's true.
So they have got an international reach. And you can't tell me an organization that has the skill to pull something like that off, keep it covert, and do it quite blatantly and openly like they do. They're playing that game in the train station.
I know.
And they're gassing people and throwing them out on the street. I mean, that there's CCTV all over the place. They have got connections on connections. You would be quite selfish, I think, if someone turned around, because you're putting everyone in danger. Then you're putting your family, your kids, everything. Just get on your flight and have a great time. You're a millionaire.
No.
Live your life. You've earned it. You've played against 500 people to the death. I mean, it's like, take it back to Julius Caesar's time. This is gladiator sport. You're fighting a lion.
It is
You know,
like that, isn't it?
It is a gladiator. It's human beings at their most primitive, and you have overcome, outwitted, outskilled all those people. So you should be very proud of yourself, and then go, not only have I survived in the lion's den, imagine this, imagine the learnings that you've got. Imagine the development, as Jordan Peterson says, putting yourself in new situations creates new connections in your brain. It'll be like Megamind.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be going, yay, well done, Sharon. I'd be thinking, I scraped through that with pure luck. All those 500 people didn't.
Skill. No. That's
you
can't have luck over 5 games.
Yeah, you can.
Nah,
not
a chance.
Luck.
Well,
the fact he chose the last bib, number 1.
No. So the first one, I'd say yes is luck, because that guy caught him.
Yeah.
On red light, green light. So that was lucky he was there to catch him. On the biscuit. Yeah, on the biscuit thing, that was his skill.
Yeah.
That got through that. Yeah. On the marbles, that was luck.
on the glass, it was
on
luck.
The glass, that was luck. And on the Squid Game, that was skill.
He was good at, because he used to play against the other guy.
But that was skill, because he picked dirt up at the start and threw it in the guy's eyes, which meant he could casually walk over to give himself both use of his feet.
I agree with that with skill.
A skill. Yeah. So 2 skill, 3 debatable.
No, 3 luck.
Yeah. All right then. So let's say divine intervention, as you will obviously be very, very aware of. Divine intervention helped him. So God has put him on this earth to survive that game. Now, I know what you're going to say to that. You're going to say, yeah, but then God has done that so he can survive the game and then go stop the game.
Yeah.
But God is arguably the biggest lover of all this in life. I mean, read the Bible. It's extremely bloody and violent. You don't see him going, I'm not getting on my jet or I'm not getting on my donkey and off to hills to go live forever after. He didn't turn around and go fight someone, does he? He doesn't smite them. He goes off and lives ever after in heaven.
It's interesting on the reach of this, isn't it? Because I had Squid Games on and paused, and Matthew, my 7-year-old, came in. Now is it 15 or something like that?
I think it's 15, yeah.
Yeah, and Matthew came in and went, "Who's watching Squid Game?" And I went, "I am. How do you know about it?" You went, "Because it's on my Roblox.
Yeah.
It's on Minecraft, and I've seen it. We talk about it at school." And I went, "You're talking about it at school?"
Yeah.
And I was only made aware of it when you mentioned it to me.
Yeah. Well, Lucas was mentioning it to me, because again, Roblox and all that. I mean, I am not a fuddy duddy. I'm quite a liberal person, especially when it comes to parenting. But gone are the days where the latest horror film will come out, like Halloween in the 70s, or Jason Voorhees, or all these people, and they were on VHS, very policeable because it was on your VHS. Whereas what the skill is now is Pennywise is another one. So Pennywise, obviously, it's a very violent, scary film. You would never show that to a 7-year-old.
No.
But what a lot of people have done is be very clever, is they've desensitized the violence and the fear and put them in Minecraft builds or Roblox games or on GTA or all this stuff. Yeah. So people so that's why you get kids going, "Oh, I know what Pennywise is," or "I know what Squid Game is," and we instantly think, right, you've been at cinema, mate, and you've got to see Pennywise. Have you done that? Or you've actually sat and watched Squid Game. It's not. It's they've sort of funneled it down through the filters of parenthood and gone Roblox.
Yeah.
I mean, Roblox could tackle all life's problems, couldn't it? So there's all those things on there, but I think I'm Squid Gamed out. Are you?
I did really enjoy it. I think because I watched it very, very recently.
Sorry, viewers, for Sharon checking her phone there.
Sorry, I was looking at my notes. That was the point.
She forgets she's on camera as well.
No, that was my notes.
Right, okay, great segue.
No, I think because I've watched it so recently, you know, when you keep going back to it, you just keep thinking that.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be doing that for a while.
Yeah.
When we came in the office yesterday, it randomly came on the music, didn't it?
Oh, it was on Spotify's trending.
Yeah.
So working away, building the podcast, and there is. I'm like, what's going on? Am I in a game? Because you're going to die here. Well, not saying that you're 5'2", but like a little chihuahua, wasn't it? Stab it at your heels. And on that note, let's end it there. That is a goodbye from me.
And from me, players 456001.
Yes, have a great Wednesday. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.